evening, good morning, good afternoon. I am so glad to have you this evening. This is June, the first week of June. Oh my God, the year is running. Imagine you are on the half year. I don't know where you are. You know, we did goal setting at the beginning of the year. Where are you with your goals? I need to bring back Helen to just confirm that we are together in terms of the goals that you set at that point in time. So good evening, good afternoon, good evening. This is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. If you're joining us for the first time, we call ourselves Get It Right with Atara Solutions. This is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. and we tackle different issues that affect both employees and the employers in the workplaces. We are on season 3 of Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Season 1 we did in 2020, where we covered 26 episodes. There is a lot. We started with how to register your business legally, how to communicate your business and to brand it. And then we went on into choosing which business to start. And then we have grown into what do employers want? What do employees want in the workplaces? Along those lines, that's what we were covering, including burnout. And then in season 2, we did 34 episodes, with the last episode being a physical meeting, which was lit, to say the least. And we covered quite a lot in terms of mental health. We covered quite a lot in terms of growing your career, especially for HR professionals. We have done quite a lot, and all this content is available on our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and I'm sure the team will be sharing. If this is your first time and you'd like to keep up on what is happening with Atara Solutions, please join our WhatsApp group page, which the link will be shared as well. We are also live on Facebook. In case your friends are stuck, you can always request and we'll share the link. And all right, yes. Where are we? Now, Get It Right with Atara Solutions is brought to you by Atara Solutions in partnership with a number of organizations. The first one being Balcon Housing. Balcon Housing is a real estate and property management company. They are located here in Nairobi, but they have pieces of land all over the country. So if you're looking for a piece of land to buy, or you have property that is looking to be managed, or people to support you in managing your property, then Balcon Housing are your people. And then we have Stallion Construction Company. Stallion Construction Company is a construction firm that deals in renovations. It deals with building, it deals with partitioning, it deals with just a bit of interiors from your house, it deals with when you want to change tiles, or just you have a new sorry, when you have a new, oh God. Sandra, it's you who did not come on time. That's why I'm getting some thoughts thingy. So yeah, Stallion Construction Company, if you're looking to renovate your home, or you're looking to subdivide your office, or you have something that just needs to be taken care of in terms of construction in your house, or you're looking to put up a building, then Stallion Construction Company are your people. And then we have Pathway Solution Services. Pathway Solution Services have been offering training to our people. They've worked with us the journey from season 1, and we are still with them in from season 2 rather, and now they're still with us on season 3. They actually have an offer to you at the end of this. So if you're here, please stay tuned, because they have free offers for you to get trained on their LMS. LMS is Learning Management System. They have a lot of information there where you log in, you learn by yourself, or if you want to be supported in terms of instructor-led, you just put up a request and they'll be able to support you on that. And then at the end of the course, you actually get to have you get to get a certificate done. And then from there, we have College of Career Development, Career Guidance and Development. College of Career Guidance and Development. These is a college that offers a diploma in career guidance. If you are a HR professional, if in your organization you're looking to support people in career guidance, if you have a child, we actually are working on something together to bring to you parents on your role in supporting your children or your nephews or your sisters in choosing their career. And then we will also have another session where we are supporting the people, the people who are looking to do their careers, or if you're in a place where you want to change your career, then career guidance and College of Career Guidance and Development will be there to support you. They also offer talks in the workplaces on career talks, your schools and all that. And then we have Fina Gardens. Fina Gardens Resort is located in Naivasha. If you're in Naivasha looking for accommodation, you are there on a conference and you need a place to put up, or you're just there you want to take your family for holiday, or just yourself, or is it Valentine's yet? Okay, no, it's not. If you have buy and you want to go and have some good time, yes, so Fina Gardens Resort is located on Naivasha along Moi South Lake. They actually have a very nice swimming pool and the food is out of this world. My favorite one being fish. And yeah, so that's Fina Gardens. On top of that, we have the Career Management Center. We have Ames College of Business and Technology. We have Wandi Restaurant. We have Kapula Mintito. We have WeClean. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. WeClean they're a carpet cleaning company. They have, what do we call it? They have a machine that cleans your carpet within 6 minutes. Imagine. So if they pick up your carpet today, which they do for free, by the way, Nairobi pickup and delivery is free. They'll pick up your carpet, go and clean it and bring it back tomorrow just to manage the distance. But they're actually able to even deliver it on the same day, depending on where you live. So WeClean, you can check them out on Instagram and Facebook. They are doing an amazing work. If you're looking to study carpentry, then Panessa Training Institute are your people. We teach carpentry. And I happen to be the manager there. So welcome. If you want to meet me, come. I will teach you how to work with wood. Other than that, my name is Grace Nzula. I am a HR professional and HR consultant and trainer with Atara Solutions. And we do this because we want to empower people and offer people an opportunity for training and for information, because information is power. And then with me is my co-host, Catherine Sidandi. She is our sign language interpreter. We try to be as inclusive as we possibly can, and we are trying to accommodate as many people as we can. So Catherine Sidandi is our sign language interpreter. And if you're looking for somebody to support your events in terms of sign language, then Catherine Sidandi would be your person. Allow me to just introduce our speaker today. I know probably my sister was asking me, Kwani, you changed the speakers. Unfortunately, Mr. Migwe fell ill, and I'm so grateful that James was able to step in, and I'm sure we will all benefit from he has a wealth of an experience. He's been doing this for over 20 years. Can you imagine? So he is a professional mediator, and I know conflict is a major challenge for most of us, especially in the organizations. So Mr. James, tell us, how can we create healthy organizations? How do we resolve conflict?
Thank you for that brief introduction. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Just to give myself a brief introduction for those people who do not know me, my primary profession, I'm a lawyer. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I've been practicing law for more than 27 years now. But I've been doing mediation for the last 24 years, both mediating locally and internationally, and also teaching mediators. I sit in the United Nations panel of global mediators, in the United Nations Ombudsman. I'm also a distinguished fellow of the International Academy of Mediators, which is based in the top 200 mediators in the world. I'm also privileged, just to finish up, I'm a board member in the International Mediation Institute, Netherlands, and I stand in charge of standards. So I teach mediators and also set standards worldwide for mediation practice and training. So today I've been invited to talk about healthy workplaces and issues to do with conflict. I'll move very slowly and use the simplest language possible, because I know how important it is for you to understand how to deal with conflict, because conflict at the workplace has got costs, it exposes you to risk, and it also impacts on your decision quality. But it's also important to know what conflict is when we talk about the workplace, because the definition of conflict depends on from one environment to another. Conflict in the workplace is a condition between people who are task interdependent. people who have been assigned a task to do together, where one or both of them are angry, they are blaming each other, and their behavior is causing a business problem. So if any condition does not fall into that, it's either a disagreement, a dispute, stress, or indecision. And those ones are not conflicts. So it's very important to understand specifically what conflict is: a condition between people who are task interdependent, where one or both are angry, they are blaming one another, and their behavior is causing a business problem. And there are so many ways that we can get into conflict. But let me tell you the first thing: conflict is not a bad thing. Conflict can only be a bad thing if depending on the way we respond to it. There is good conflict and there is bad conflict. And this classification is very important. And we delve into that classification a lot when we deal with what we call the conflict dynamics profile, how we profile you on how you respond to conflict. Because of the limited time, I'll give you a link where you can watch this, a number of interviews that I've done through another TV station. And if you can write it down straight away, it's www.familymediaonline. Family Media Online is one word, .com. That's the website for Family TV. And if you go to that website, you go to the videos, you'll see a video we call The Mediator. Then you'll see a series of interviews where I train people on how to become conflict competent. When I talk about conflict competency, I mean people who know how to respond to conflicts constructively. Because the moment we respond to conflicts destructively, that means we are conflict incompetent and we lack the skills or the conflict intelligence. As I'll be talking within this hour, I'll be telling you about the effects and the impact on conflict, not only at you, at the workplace or at the business, but also the impact on conflict on the workers, on the employees and the employers. And you will see how devastating it is when conflict is mismanaged or ignored. Now, I want to show you a small video about perception. Why do we fight at the workplace? That's one of the most important. Why do we get conflict at the workplace? Now, if you look at this video, which I'm just about to share, you'll be surprised that even animals themselves will realize when they have been treated unfairly. When somebody has a perception that they have been treated unfairly, they will resist. Okay? How do we resist? We can become defiant, or we can do what we call a go slow, or many other ways of resisting. Now, there are two monkeys in this video that I'm just about to share. One of them is being given cucumber, another one is being given grapes. Now, the one that is being given grapes believes that they are being better treated than the one that is receiving cucumber. I want you to see how the one that is receiving cucumber reacts to that, and you'll be surprised. Just have a look at this. Sorry, I'll have to stop sharing fast because I'm sharing something that I want. Let me open it fast before I share. A minute.
On the left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grape. The one who gets right.
Okay.
The one on the left is the monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape, and you will see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber, and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now, gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
So definitely you can see clearly that the monkey who got cucumber felt that they were being unfairly treated. And that's the moment you saw conflict. See, that's when people resist, that's when they become defiant. So this is all about perception. And perception, in as far as workplace conflict is something that is like beauty. It's in the eyes of the beholder. You know, I can tell you are beautiful because that's what I see. But somebody else can be very honest to you and tell you, I don't like what I see. That's the same thing that happens to a perception on the issues to do with being unfairly treated. Now let's talk about perception. There very quickly, I want to make a comparison here. There is a lecturer who comes to class and finds students quarreling with each other. He stops them and tells them to stand at two different sides of the table. And he brings a ball that has got two different colors. And he asks them, what is the color of the ball that you are looking at? Tells them to turn around. And each one of them will say a specific different type of color. And they keep fighting, not knowing that the color only appears on their side of the ball. And they think the other person, because they don't see things the way they do, they are stupid or crazy. They are not. If I don't see things the way you do, I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. It's only that I'm not you. That's the difference. I'm different. Now, let's just observe this, because this is another thing I want you to see. These students are heavily quarreling over an issue. See how this lecturer will assist them to...
Bro, that doesn't even make sense. It makes total sense. Just open up your mind and listen to other people's opinions.
What's going on?
Bro, that doesn't even make sense. It makes total sense. Just open up your mind and listen to other people's opinions.
What's going on here? What's going on?
John's being ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous. You're the one that thinks that. Bro, how can you not see?
Okay, boys, calm down. Okay, everybody take your seats. Matthew, John, come up here, please. And John, stand over there and face that direction. Matthew, come over here and just do the opposite. Thank you. Okay, boys, turn around. And John, what color is the ball?
The ball's white. Seriously? Bro, do you just like making things difficult?
Well, what color do you say the ball is?
Black. The ball is black, clearly. I don't know what you see, Ronald, but the ball is white.
Without looking at the ball, I want you to both switch places. Okay, both of you, please turn around. And what color is the ball now? Okay, please have a seat. Throughout our lives, we believe many things, and we hold dear what we think is right and true. But at times there'll be others who disagree with us. What we believe to be 100% right, they believe the opposite just as strongly. Well, how can that be? Can't they see? We can become frustrated, we might grow distant, we may even sever relationships entirely. Slow down. Breathe. Step into the other person's shoes. It'll make all the difference.
One thing that I want you to know and realize is that if I'm not seeing things the way you are seeing them, I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. I'm not inferior. It's simply because I'm not you. If we understand that people can see things differently and it's all right, we'll not have any conflict that you see around us. The only thing is what we call, that somebody has said, a sense of self-righteousness, that you think that you are whatever you are seeing, everybody else should see things the same way. That's the reason why we have conflict at the workplace. Now, I want to tell you a small story. I know my time is limited, But that's what I'm used to. I've been training mediators all over, so I know even you today, you want to pick up something that you can use practically at your workplace. I'll be glad that anybody who lives here today lives with something that they can take home, will benefit them in resolving conflicts, either with their spouses and children, or with at their workplace with your co-employees or your employer, so that we can have an harmonious workplace. So let me tell you this story. I trained a mediator in 2004. I remember very well because that's a fresh case, and I know. In the year 2004, he was a lawyer and he had some flats at Umoja Inako. I just want to tell you what mediators do by understanding this story. He had flats at Umoja Inako. He had two tenants. One of them was a bank teller. A lady used to work at Barclays Bank, Market Street. Another one was a student studying music in one of the universities. Now, the bank teller used to come very tired in the evening. But the young man upstairs had a piano. So he would play the piano up to almost midnight every day. The young man enjoyed music and they said he was doing his homework. But the lady downstairs was being driven crazy by the noise that she described that was coming from the first floor. So this lady complained to the landlord and she said, "We can't stand this. We pay rent because we want to have a peaceful night's sleep. There's a young man upstairs. He plays loud music. Not only is it loud, but it's pathetic. Can you please tell him to stop?" Now the landlord understood that this young man, this lady, first of all, the lady had a position. She had already taken a position. So he told the lady, "I'll talk to the young man. Please give me time and let me see. Let me talk and I'll come back to you." The following day, the landlord went upstairs, the young man's room in the evening. He knocked at the door and asked the young man, "May I please come in?" The young man said, "Yes, sir. What brings you here very late in the evening?" The landlord said, "People are complaining here." He didn't say the lady downstairs. He said, "People are complaining here that you are making a lot of noise, playing your piano up to midnight every day. Can you please stop it?" The young man looked at the landlord and asked the landlord, "Who pays my rent here? Can they tell me what to do after I paid my rent? Seriously, tell them to mind their own business." The landlord also understood that this was the position of the young man. So what he did, he didn't want to get into an argument with the young man. So simply he pulled a chair and asked the young man, "May I sit, please?" He said, "Yes, please do." Then he changed the topic immediately. He asked the young man, "What kind of music did you study at college?" The young man was delighted. He said, "Well, this guy is interested in my music instead of complaining about my music." So what did he do? He told him, "You know what, in college, we study different types of music. Gospel music, reggae music, country music." So the landlord said, hold on. I'd like to know how you play country music. You know, I'm old school. Please bear with me. How do you play country music?" The young man told him, "Now sit down. Let me show you. When we play country music, we switch off these lights. We switch on blue lights. We lower the volume of the music so that the audience can enjoy. And we play the music slowly." The landlord told him, "Thank you very much. At least I've learned something new today. I'll see you again tomorrow." The following day, the landlord went downstairs. Asked the lady, "I've tried to talk to the young man, and I'm sure we are getting somewhere. But by the way, what kind of music do you listen to yourself?" The lady said, "You know, I'm old school. I don't listen to this garbage that I get every evening. I listen to music from people like Don Williams, Dolly Parton, music that suits me to sleep." What was this lady talking about? Country music. The following day, the landlord went back and asked the young man, "Who organizes your timetable?" He said, "In college, we do it on our own." He asked him, "Can I ask you for a favor? Please, can you organize such that you play only country music from 7 p.m. onwards? During the day, you can play all kinds of music that you want. I'm not saying you stop playing your music, but I'm saying you alter your timetable. The young man said, fine, so long as nobody stops me from playing my music, why not? So the young man started playing music, country music, from 7 p.m. onwards. And this was the favorite music for the lady. So she could sing along as she watched the utensils. She went to sleep singing along with the young man. The conflict was resolved. The landlord did not kick any one of the parties out. What did he do? First, he identified the individual interests of the parties in dispute. And then eventually, he reconciled those interests. Even in the workplace, if you want to resolve conflicts, first of all, you have to identify the individual interests of the parties in dispute. Then you reconcile those interests. If you had a child in your house today, two of your children, and you only have one orange in the fridge, and they say, Mom, Dad, I want this orange. Each one of them says, I want this orange. What do you do as a prudent parent? You pick the orange, split it into two. Is that the way mediators think? No, we don't think that way. As mediators, we will ask the children, why do you need that orange? One of the children will tell you, I need the orange because I want to squeeze juice out of it. The other one will say, I need the skin because I want to prepare mandazi or some kind of recipe with it. So you'll see, because you asked why, you have realized that each one of them will get 100% of the orange, because one of them will get 100% of the juice, the other one will get 100% of the skin. It's because you asked why. So in mediation, especially at the workplace, our focus is on what people need, not what they want. So we have three issues in any conflict. We have substantive issues. Substantive issues are those issues that we write down, especially if you're going to the court of law, you write in form of a complaint, or an application. So you put it before a presiding officer for determination. Those are substantive issues. Then we have emotional issues. Emotional issues cannot be written. They can only be expressed. Then we have what we call pseudo-substantive issues. Pseudo-substantive issues are those issues that are emotional in nature, but they appear to be substantive when they are not. They are simply vehicles that carry emotional issues. You'll be surprised that in any conflict, if you resolve emotional issues and the pseudo-substantive issues and ignore substantive issues, the conflict is resolved. The parties will never remember about substantive issues. So problem solving and conflict resolution is illogical if that's what people are looking for. Totally illogical. And that's why you require special training in order to face all types of conflicts. Now, there are common reasons for workplace conflict. There are reasons, and we have done research. You'll find a book that I have written known as the Basic Principles of Mediation. You can find it on the shelves. I've also got another book here we call Comprehensive. You can get it from my institution, Comprehensive Workplace Mediation Practice, and many others. By the way, we are the only people who have a mediation library in Africa. Mediation Training Institute International, East Africa. We are at Jivan Bharat Building, 5th floor, and the library is free. So you can step in and read all mediation books you have. Imagine people travel all the way from Cairo, from South Africa, to come and read books in our library. So all of you are welcome. Identify yourself through Adara, and then you will give you a free entry. You come in and read the books and increase your knowledge. So let's look at common reasons why workplace conflicts occur. Number one is personality clashes. We have so many personalities at workplaces. We usually use what we call the DISC formula. I may not have time to take you through that, but because I know some of you have gone through it, I'll take you to specific personalities. We have people who are sanguine, phlegmatic, melancholic, etc., etc. These types of clashes are they cause 49% of the conflicts at the workplace. Number two is stress. You know, people wake up from home and they come to the workplace. They carry over their own stress in the workplace. especially, you know, when we teach about family mediation, we know that when people either are separating or divorcing, there are different emotional stages, and there's a way we handle them through those stages. So I don't know if you can hear me all right. So what we do usually is that you handle a person according to their emotional stage. Stress is something that can really affect the way people look at conflict. So if you, for example, if you are having either financial stress or there is some kind of family dispute, these people can carry it over the workplace. That's why employees are supposed to be peaceful right from home. Therefore, this constitutes about 34% of conflict at the workplace. There is also workload. People are overworked. When I think about, when I talk about conflict dynamics profile, we usually profile people, the way people respond to conflict. And we realize that people who are overworked or have heavy workloads, they tend to have less concentration. And this could be a source of serious conflict at the workplace. The other one is poor leadership. And poor leadership comes as a result of supervisors and managers being conflict incompetent. You can be surprised that through our research, 89% of supervisors and managers, line managers, and even agile managers, most of them are conflict incompetent. They do not know how to respond to conflicts constructively, as a result of which they cause a lot of mayhem at the workplace. That constitutes about 29%. And lack of honesty constitutes another 26%. So what are the costs of workplace conflict? I want to share with you a small script here, PowerPoint presentation, tell you about, explain to you briefly about the cost of workplace mediation. It's just briefly for you for now. I just picked that because of the time limitations that I have. Now, one is wasted time. You know, the time you spend in resolving conflicts does not add any opportunity cost to your organization. When there is conflict at the workplace, there is lower job motivation and productivity. I usually hear radio stations, like Namaina Kegeni and the rest, on Monday morning. They are talking about the Monday blues. They are talking about that when it is Friday, everybody is shouting, Friday, because you are running away from the workplace. Why? Because our workplaces are invested with, I'm talking about like parasites, with bosses or managers who are highly conflict incompetent. There's no motivation of taking you to the workplace on Monday. Why? Because you are going to meet these wild animals. And I want to describe them as wild animals because they do not know how to deal with the conflicts. And that's how employees react at the background. That is the language that they use that I'm bringing it for because of conflict incompetency. There's also lost performance due to work-related absenteeism. Have you gone to a workplace where somebody say, my grandmother has died, please give me compassionate leave today? Next week, they forget that they told you the same thing and they come and tell you my grandmother has died. You wonder how many grandmothers they have. The fact is they are just absent because they don't want to walk into an environment that is chronic with conflict. What about loss of investment of skilled employees? You know the cost of employing a manager? Advertisement is one, it's not free. Then constituting a committee to shortlist CVs. That's a committee that could have been used more productively elsewhere at the workplace. Number three is doing the interviews. There's a committee that has been considered to do the interviews. Number four, you have to take the new manager for training. Number five, you have to take them through the process of induction. And remember, the new manager cannot be as effective as the outgoing manager. So the cost of losing one manager is equivalent to 150% of their annual salary. And this can hit your balance sheet like you've never seen before. You know, our auditors and accountants have not been trained on how to calculate the costs associated with conflict. as a result of which there's a problem. So where does the cause of conflict lie in our balance sheets? And if it's not reflected in our balance sheets, then where does it go? Can our auditors and accountants justify this? Because as I'm going to show you, it's a lot of money. And it's a culprit that sank so many organizations. Let's talk about conflict-related theft, sabotage, vandalism, and damage. And I want to give you 3 examples which are very pertinent. And they will all come from our workplaces here in Kenya. Those ones who are outside the country, probably I may not be able to help, but I can give you examples of what happens here. Now there's a company, and I'm not going to name it because I'm in class. That company is in Road C, in industrial area. A tea girl, these young ladies who make for us tea in the office, complained to the HR manager that she was being sexually harassed by one of the line managers. She complained. Now, unfortunately, the line manager was a relative to the CEO, those people in the company you called untouchables. So the HR manager was not able to confront the line manager about the issue of sexual harassment, though it was there in the policy. So she kept on giving false promises to the tea girl that I'll do something about it. Please give me time, blah, blah, blah. Until the tea girl had enough of it, she said, well, I may not get help here. And it appears the HR manager has now become an accomplice in the process. So she woke up one morning and she made tea. She cooked very nice tea and she poisoned it. And she served everybody in that organization. I'm sure people have forgotten, it was just in 1997. I tell you, you could see the number of ambulances that were heading to Nairobi MP Shah Hospital, Nairobi Hospital, Mother Hospital. Fortunately, nobody died. But there's a gentleman I know physically, personally, who goes to India after 3 years to get a surgery on to change the intestines. A very expensive conflict to date. The HR manager, if that person who was incompetent, they would have really saved the situation. Let me give you another example. I'll only give you 3, and you'll see how serious these things are. Number 2, there's a company here in Nairobi, and every company does what I'm going just to tell you. At the end of the year, they usually have end-year parties where the top management and the junior management meet in a forum where you bond, you eat together and bond, just to grow that good culture in the organization. So this company, they went to a restaurant in Westlands here in Nairobi. You know, because everybody else was allowed to drink alcohol, like water, because it's free that day. Some young men from accounts department took one too many of the bottles. So they gathered the courage and they confronted the CEO. They told him, you know, people don't tell you the truth here. You know what? You're the most useless person in this company. And there are very few honest people here who can tell you so. The CEO took this with a pinch of salt because he said, probably these guys were preparing to insult me. They're just hiding behind alcohol. So on Monday, the CEO ordered the HR manager to dismiss the 2 young men who are from the accounts department. That is the worst mistake that they made. Because these 2 young men, previously they used to work together with the CEO in clearing goods from the port in Mombasa. And they knew very well how to avoid paying duty. So when these 2 young men were dismissed, they left the dossier containing tax evasion. Few days from there, they approached the Kenya Revenue Authority and they took the dossier there. This gentleman was called, received a phone call from KRA, and they told him, you know, gentleman, you owe the taxman 95 million Kenya shillings. The guy said, what do you mean? I'm a law-abiding citizen. I pay my taxes. What nonsense are you telling me about? And they told him, hold on, talk to this young man. And you know, the young men were on the other side. They told him, hello, sir, it's us, Nisisi. The guy froze. The gentleman is paying that duty in installments up to now. Why? KRA these days, we have trained them and they apply ADR, mediation. They don't harass you anymore. They apply. So they went through mediation, and they allowed this guy, because he was honest, to pay the tax in installments. And that is the cost of conflict. The third and last case I'll give you about conflict-related damage is a company also on the other side of Westlands. I keep on saying that that's because where I get most of the conflict from, which are immediate. In this company, the general manager has a ritual. Every Friday evening, they have to sack one person. One person has to be dismissed. So every Friday evening. So the employees of this company have learned to fly without patching. So they know that this general manager comes to the company at around 4:30. So by 4 p.m., everybody has left. There's a gentleman who was in accounts department, and he was preparing the payroll because employees were supposed to be paid on Monday. That was a Friday evening. So he worked a lot, and eventually he went past the hour up to 8 p.m. He stood outside as he was stretching, trying to get the fresh air after working for long. He pumped into the general manager, who told him, you know, Mr. Joseph, today is Friday. You know what we do here. So straight away, the HR manager is still seated in our office. Please go there and get your letter. Joseph said, hey, is this the way you treat hard-working employees in your company? Hold on, sir. So he went back to his office and picked a cigarette. Walked back to the general manager's office. He lit the cigarette, took in the smoke, and blew into the nostrils of the general manager and told him, you can go ahead now and sack me if that pleases you. This gentleman could not pick it anymore. So he stood up and slapped this young man. Fortunately, nobody could hear because that room was soundproof. The young man stepped 2 steps behind and closed the door. He gave that general manager a beating for almost 40 minutes. A serious beating. He broke his lips, ribs, and everything. Then he stepped out of the office, slowly opened the door. There's a secretary who was seated outside who is immune to dismissal because she's allowed to stay longer. Told the secretary, I have closed the door behind me. And when God closes one door, he opens another. The secretary did not understand what that meant. So the gentleman walked away. Later on, the secretary waited for the general manager to come out. Nobody was showing up. So she pretended to go in and pick that used cup of tea, only to realize that the general manager was on the ground, writhing in pain, calling for help. They called in for an ambulance, which took him to Nairobi Hospital, where he stayed for 3 months. Right now, the gentleman is moving on a wheelchair. And that is the cost of conflict. Conflict can be devastating. I can give you so many examples, but they are available in my book, and you can read as many as you can. Let's go on to look at healthy costs. Most of the diseases that we have are psychogenic. Psychogenic diseases are those diseases that are caused by stress. They are like diabetes, high blood pressure, stomach ulcers, and many other cardiovascular diseases. What causes stress? Mismanaged or ignored conflict. When I train people as professional mediators, I tell them about from giving you a certification, I'm also increasing your lifespan. Because when you know how to deal with conflict, you can avoid so many diseases because you know how to deal with the people who are very close to you. I know an example I can give you is if you come home in the evening and your wife has not cooked and you know very well you are supposed to eat at 8 p.m. You know what we do as African men? We'll shout and say, you know what? There are so many nice hotels around here that cook a better meal than you. If you don't do this again, I'll not eat here. Instead, if you are conflict competent, what do? You come in and use 3 simple phrases that I teach people when I teach them about what we call self-mediation. 1, you just start by saying, I'm concerned that we are not able to eat by 8 p.m. today. I have noticed that this is the time when you are cooking. I'd like us to find a way that the food can be cooked early so that you can eat in time. That passes your message without offending anybody. And that shows that you are conflict competent. So most of the diseases that we have, we bring them on ourselves. So if you want to live longer and stay a blissful life, join my classes. You can find me at www.mtieastafrica.com. I teach professional mediators both in English, Spanish, and French, and I teach worldwide. So welcome and be a better person in life. Let's go to the great edition quality. You know, most of the CEOs that we have or managers rely on information that they receive from their subordinates to enable them to make good decisions in life or in the workplace. If you are in conflict with your subordinates, there are two things that will happen. One, they will give you wrong information. Two, they will withhold important information. At the end of the day, the decision that you'll be making as the CEO or the manager will be contaminated with conflict. No wonder most organizations have closed down, because decisions that are being made are contaminated. The boss behaves like God. You have no connection with the people who are underneath you. You know, we are human beings and you may not understand how we work. I remember one time I had a leadership and conflict management seminar in Morendati, in Naivasha. So I took in a number of CEOs. I gave one CEO an experiment to do because he told me people in his company were hostile. All the employees were hostile. So I told him, do one thing, go and listen to employees. Look at the most junior employee. Listen if they have a function at home, attend the function. So he went and listened, and he had one of the employees junior employees had a birthday for his son. And they stayed in a place known as Kibira, in Saba. So what I told him to do is just go to the supermarket, buy flowers, buy a cake for the birthday, take 20,000 shillings and put in an envelope, just drive close to that place. Call anyone you can see, because you'll find some of the employees there, and call the young man next to you. Just sing a simple happy birthday to you, and then give them that flower and leave. Don't join the function. You'll be sending a very strong message to your employees. And he did that because I wanted him to report back the panel that we had established. And the response was tremendous. Employees who wanted to join the union said, so after all, this guy is a human being. If he can attend a function of these junior employees and do what he did, well, I think there's some humanity in him. So let's not take it for granted. People stopped agitating for salary increments. They stopped joining the union, and the environment changed completely because of a simple action, one action from the CEO. Human beings are very difficult people to understand. And if you deal with them in a manner that is likely to cause problems, then you are in trouble. We deal with them when people feel they own your company. When they feel that they are, if you want any kind of your loyalty, you must deal with people like people, not like animals. So I think it is very important for you to understand that. So for those people who are willing to be trained to become professional mediators or even chartered mediators, we train and certify with the International Mediation Institute, Netherlands, Singapore International Mediation Institute, and the International Academy of Mediators in the US. And we train everywhere. So wherever you are, if you want to be trained in French, English, or in Spanish, here we are. Thank you very much. And you can ask the questions now if you so wish.
Oh my God, James, you are such a storyteller. We are learning practically today. And I love that because, I mean, we are allowed to Google. So some of these things we can Google, but I love the practical approach to it, because then these are things that we can actually take back to our workplaces. Allow me just to say this. This is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And this webinar is brought to you by Atara Solutions in partnership with Balcon Housing and Stallion Construction Company, as well as College of Career Guidance and Development. Right, so I can see people were actually taking on a lot of information. I don't know whether we have a question, but now, like when I'm in business, so I have seen quite a number of partners part ways because of unresolved conflict. And do you believe that partnerships can actually flourish? Because most partners, like I know of a friend of mine who has been in partnership. You're on mute. You're on
Please
mute.
repeat. Sorry.
So I'm saying, like,
Yes.
I know some people who are in business partnerships who, okay, partnerships, first of all, are very difficult and people end up splitting at some point. Do you think that we can salvage this? And what are some of the things that we can actually do to like, you know, just hold the partnership to growing and succession and stuff?
Well, you know, most companies that go down, mostly because of internal conflict, especially family companies. So we have a program we call Strategic Management of Organizational Conflict, which is known as executive mediation, where we try to resolve conflicts. And we have applied in some supermarkets here in Kenya that were splitting. On the verge of splitting, they call us in to put the families together. You find that most companies that come down are family companies. Why? Because people are more close to each other. They fight the most. I have also been having resolving conflict within boards, what we call mediation in what we call corporate governance. We mediate corporate governance disputes. And we have seen in corporate governance, especially where we have educated board members, there's likely to be conflict because they challenge every decision that is made by the CEO. We've come in to help these people resolve this conflict. So there is a formula, there is a training that we give to the board, there's a training that we give the members of these institutions so that we improve on the issues to do with their conflict competency. So yes, there's a formula, but I can't just explain it here because this workplace conflict is a huge topic. We can deal with it alone for a whole week, day in, day out, from morning to evening, from Monday to Friday, talking about workplace conflict, because we deal with what we call the necessary knowledge in mediation, especially the workplace. And we deal with the conflict dynamics profile. We deal with strategic management of organizational conflict. And then we deal with the mediating the conflict itself and how you can avoid the conflict from coming into place in the first place. So we do a lot. We go internally into companies, organizations, we bring in the training, and then we help you improve on 3 areas: the competency of the staff, we improve the structure of the organization, and the culture of the organization. It's what they call system design. So when we come in, there's a lot that we can do to turn around your company completely, because most companies are closing down, not because they are not profitable, but they are closing down because they do not know how to manage conflicts strategically. I can give you examples of companies, especially insurance companies, that have gone down. The recent banks that have gone down, supermarkets. If you look at it, it's not because they were not being paid their debts. No, it's because they mismanaged conflict, and some of them we even went in and advised them. We have a cafeteria of tools we use to advise companies. First, we benchmark. That's calculating the cost of conflict within the organization. Then we train internally. After training, we coach. After coaching, we remove the obstacles. We use what we call the force field analysis. We come in and remove the obstacles that are cultural and structural obstacles that can prevent your employees from getting the skills, using the skills to resolve conflicts at the workplace. After that, after removing the obstacles, we design for them a dispute resolution system that can work in tandem with the skills that they have already gained. Then we teach in-house experts, and then we leave you alone. We come later and we do what we call reassessment. You know, at the beginning, when we were doing benchmarking, we calculated the cost of conflict then. When we are doing reassessment, we come back and find out that the cost of conflict has drastically reduced. And that's how you find profitability has skyrocketed, productivity, morale, and even profitability. You find a company which was making a profit of 200 million, now making 600 million. And then people attribute it to the rains. Rains have nothing to do with that. It's because we have dealt with conflict strategically as lead experts. And once we have managed the conflict, the company will now start making profit. We have done that for so many organizations, and they are on track. Those ones that have not listened to our advice, they have closed. That's as threatening as it. There's an organization on Mombasa Road where I warned them after doing what we call a benchmark. After doing a benchmark, I told them, you guys are closing. You know what the HR manager told me? This is academic. I told them, thank you. I'm an expert. The first person to be dismissed was the HR manager. The company was sold to an international company to survive. So this is not witchcraft. This is science. We have gone into these things and we know how they happen. We have helped the companies both here in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zambia, Lesotho, in Cairo, in Tunisia. We have helped the companies survive by strategically managing conflict. And we can do the same here and elsewhere. So if you want to save your company, because let me tell you, when a company dies, it's not the company that dies. You know, these supermarkets, like the ones we have in our country, when they close down, there are so many people who committed suicide because they would not be able to fend for their families. So there's a serious impact when companies go down. That's the reason why we as strategic managers of organization conflict come in not only to save the companies, but also to save families who depend on those companies for their livelihoods. Each one of you, when they go home in the evening, their children will always ask you, Dad, surely. How then, what do you say you have brought to your children if the company you are working for is closed just because conflict was mismanaged? So let's wake up and smell the coffee. This is where all the companies in the world are going. Save your company, save your employees' livelihood by managing conflict strategically at the workplace.
James, there are two questions. One is, please define conflict again. I think somebody missed the definition. And then the other question is by Joanne, who is saying, can we use what? Mediation to solve family conflicts? Let me just find it.
Yes.
There's something on family. Great presentation, James. How can mediation be used to resolve conflicts in marriage?
Okay, I do that every day anyway. So I've saved so many marriages. So that's what I do, and that's what my some of the mediators that I've trained. In fact, by the way, we train the best mediators in the world. I've trained people like the Honorable Kenneth Marende, is the former Speaker of the National Assembly, and he was sent to the Central African Republic to resolve a very important dispute. I've trained people like Justice Mkule, Jarwal Khan, and many others. People have trained who have gone out and done serious matters. And even the international mediators that you know have passed through my class. So if you want to have this as a retirement package, because a mediator, you don't need to be a lawyer to be a mediator. Anybody, HR manager, teacher, psychologist, anybody can be a mediator. In fact, upon your retirement, you can go into mediation. Why? Because there's no retirement age in mediation. The older you get, the wiser you become. So this is something I can tell you, you can put aside and use it. So let me answer those two questions. The first one is, what is conflict? Conflict is a condition between people who are task interdependent, where one or both of the people are angry, they are blaming each other, and their behavior is causing a business problem. That's what we call conflict. So conflict is not indecision, it's not stress, it's not there's a disagreement, because some of the disagreements are healthy, especially when we are dealing with creativity. What was the next question?
How do you use mediation to solve marital issues?
Marital issues, yeah. You know, in marital issues, there are very funny cases. Not every mediator can resolve marital disputes, especially if you have been trained in commercial mediation. You may not know how to deal with emotions. So you'll find that when we are dealing with family matters or marital issues, we know people are at different emotional stages. Knowing how to navigate through those stages is the gist of marital mediation. There are different stages like anger. You find a person immediately after divorce or separation, they are so angry, they have a lot of rage. You need to know how to deal with those emotions that are. Then they move into mourning the loss. They move into depression. Then they move into re-entry. So if you find a disputant at the age of anger, at the stage of anger, another one at the stage of re-entry, you'll have a very difficult mediation. Why? You find the wife, if she has reached the stage of re-entry and she has accepted and want to move on, she will tell the husband, carry your belongings and leave. I'm done with this. And then the husband will say, yes, why not? And then she will carry the wife and start walking away with the wife. She'll look back at you and tell you told me to carry my belongings. You see, this is because they have not accepted. So understanding the stages that you find these people in determines how successful you can be as a family mediator. I've seen commercial mediators coming in to resolve family mediation, and they're surprised because You sit with the two couple, the couple at the table, and they start crying right from the time go. They cry. One of them is crying in soprano, another one is crying in the bass. So you wait for them to finish so that you can start your mediation. They cry forever. And I've seen people quitting the mediation table because they were not trained on how to handle emotions. So we train mediators on how to deal with emotions, how to deal with anger, and how to deal with anguish. And that is special training specifically for mediators. So we train different mediations. We train commercial mediators, workplace mediators, family mediators, community mediators, and many others, environmental mediators, medical, people who deal with medical disputes, construction dispute mediators, victim offender mediators, and many others. I realized when I was in an interview in NTV, Uganda, that in Uganda, I was there with the registrar of the Supreme Court. They told me they also mediate criminal matters. So I realized this is also possible, so long as parties are amenable to mediation, that there's nothing that you cannot mediate. But lastly, what I want our people to know, I've been in court for all those years. Nobody wins a court case. Don't waste your time. Mediate. Why? What litigation destroys relationships. You resolve your dispute and your relationship is destroyed. Litigation is expensive. Whereas in mediation, you can resolve your issues today, one afternoon, and you improve on your relationship. Now, litigation is traumatizing. If you want to go through the vagaries of the court process, you emerge from that place traumatized. There are so many disadvantages that you find in litigation. The advantages in mediation are enormous. And the earlier the Kenyans understand the importance of mediation, the better. 2 weeks ago, I was in Senegal in the African Mediation Forum, and we are trying to sensitize the public about the importance of mediation. Most Western countries are moved on. If you go to court, they'll always ask you, have you gone through mediation? Otherwise, you must give a certificate that you have gone through mediation to be able to be allowed to file your suit in court. And that's where we are heading as a country. And therefore, I'm encouraging everybody, human resource managers, lawyers, teachers, accountants, everybody. Mediation is the way to go. You'll be left behind if you're still thinking that litigation is the way to go. Even as lawyers, we have realized that the world is moving on. So we are moving towards alternative dispute resolution process. Where on a back what? Where are we leaving you?
Before we get there, Mr. James.
Way of solving
James, hujajibu swali yangu. But there's one very important question here, which I think you probably need to give us just 2 tips before we can come for the class. By the way, there's a lot of questions on how they can join the class. How can they do you do refresher courses on mediation? But before you answer that one, there's somebody who's saying, what can I do with a boss who feels insecure so that anything I do, she feels like I'm undermining her? Please just give this gentleman 2 tips.
1, there is a way we train you on how to deal with the bullies. Bullying is an occurrence of a behavior which occurs where somebody is unreasonable and they want their way on the highway. And that's the kind of post you are having. Now, bullies are sick people. It's one thing you should understand. And there are 2 psychological concepts that help us know how to deal with bullies. One is what we call a defensive aggressive complex, which I don't know how I can explain with this limited time. And the other one is known as the ambivalence and is downstream. Now, these 2 psychological concepts will always give you a picture on how to deal with that kind of boss. Let me give you an African story that will show you how to deal with your boss very easily. There's a woman who the husband was so harsh. So she went to a witch doctor and asked the witch doctor, I would like to soften my husband. So I want you to give me something, some jam, which I can drop in his meal so that he is soft. He's so harsh. I can't live with this man for the rest of my life. I have to do something. So what the witch doctor told him is, I want you to give me something that will help me mix with the concoction so that I can soften your husband. And that is far from the tail of a lion. Go slowly next to the lion, take out the fur, Bring it, I'll mix it with the concoction and I'll soften your husband. So the lady started going to the forest with some meat just to persuade the lion. So the first day, she threw the meat to the lion. So the lion ate it and spared her. So she kept on bringing food every day. And as she brought the food, she started getting closer and closer to the lion, to the extent that the lion was so calm with the lady, and she had to reach the tail of the lion and pull out the fur. The lady was very happy as she was walking back to the witch doctor. She told the witch doctor, I have gotten the fur. Then would you know what the witch doctor told the lady? You know the same way that you dealt with that lion. Go and handle your boss the same way, slowly. And I have nothing, I have no concoction to give you. Now, you know, what I'm trying to say, bring about here is that we don't usually observe ourselves on how we respond to conflict. There's what we call the spear catching strategy. Spear catching strategy. When somebody is hungry and they throw spears towards you, don't throw them back. Your job is to allow this person to throw the spears until they are spent, with the knowledge that those spears cannot do any physical damage on you. Once these spears are spent, you realize the person starts now throwing conciliatory gestures. Conciliatory gestures are statements of voluntary vulnerability that occur during conflict conversations. I've trained so many managers on how to deal with wild customers. And when a customer comes breathing fire, you allow the customer to throw all their spears and you receive them safely. Once this emotional energy is spent, these people will behave very well. But the moment you start throwing your spears back, and yet you are an employee, are you want to win? No, you will not win. You know very well. You want to lose your job. So I tell you, there are so many ways I teach people on the spear catching strategy. And I've used it in one of the companies here in Nairobi, where I told the managers to observe me through the CCTV camera and see how I was handling a wild customer who was shouting. And I calmed them down. Some of the managers were asking me, did you use something from Kamote from somewhere? No, I told them it's the way you speak with these people. Knowing very well that if a person is full of emotions, you have to look for an outlet. Let the emotions be spent and the person will be as clean, as white as snow. So long as a person has got accumulated emotions in them, there is no way you are going to expect them to be reasonable. They won't. Create an environment so that the emotions are spent and you will have an angel in front of you. Right.
Wow, 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 wow. I wish we had like a lot of time to have this discussion. You have a lot of wisdom, Mr. James, and I am really glad that you came on today. And there are quite a number of questions on people asking, how can I become a chartered mediator? How can I become a certified mediator? How can I be, how long does the course take? How can we find out more? What are your contacts? How do we get in touch with the speaker? I'm trying to see what else is there. But Hassan is saying, how can one assess organization conflict or assess organization resilience against conflict?
Yes, that's what we exactly do with strategic management of organizational conflict. It's what we call benchmarking. And it's a huge topic I cannot be able to cover right now. But hopefully, I think you can organize for this, more of this. If people are interested, I'll be back again. I like teaching. That's my life. Apart from teaching at the university, I also like teaching adults on how to resolve conflict. I enjoy every time I leave you, I get you out of this place knowing very well how you deal with your wife or husband and your children and live a peaceful life. It makes me sleep easy. So it's a vocation, you know, like priesthood. We teach not because we want to make money, we teach because we want to have people living in harmony. So if you want me back, I'll be back here and I'll be teaching you. And on the screen is my phone number and my email, my personal email. Just write an email to me and let's keep talking. I know some of you want to eat their dinner, but let's keep talking.
I am so glad to hear that we can have you back, because we will definitely be reaching out to you, because I think it's really important that we solve. I mean, the cost that you indicated is quite expensive. And for those of you who are asking more about Mr. James and the courses, he has shared his contacts. And in case you're not able to pick them up, you can always reach out to me and I will link you up to Mr. James. And I've seen somebody saying you taught me at Park University. So I guess some of your students are here, and I have seen a number of people who are recognizing your work. So I am really glad. I really want to thank Milka for linking us up today. All right, so we have an offer for you from Pathway Solutions. We have somebody who will win, 5 of you actually. If you can look at your screen, 5 of you will get a free LMS training course for people in HR. Oh my God. This is for people in HR only. 5 people who are working in HR, who are doing human resource department, will get a training on conflict management at the workplace. And then 5 people, and these are boy-child specifically, only men, who will get training on stress management. So I repeat, 5 HR professionals who are tuned in on this call will get free training by Pathway Service Solutions on conflict management, and 5 men, this is for boy child, on stress management. So please email me at grace@atarasolutions.co.ke, grace@atarasolutions.co.ke, and you will be able to get this. Please note, this is an offer on first come, first served. If by tomorrow you haven't received an email, please check your junk email as well, or you can also just follow up with me so that I can link you up with Frank of Pathway Service Solutions. And then here also as an offer, all courses will be completed on our LMS system. They are self-paced, accessible 24/7, and support or guidance is available where need be. Upon successful completion of all assessments, a beautiful certificate will be awarded. And then they are also running a training promotion from June to September 2022. All the LMS training courses are discounted at 75%. And also the instructional led delivered via Zoom meeting, discounted by 60%. For instructional led is human interaction led, and this is done by booking within 3 weeks in advance. So Frank has offered 5 training sessions on conflict management to HR professionals strictly. So get in touch with me, and then 5 people, or rather, sorry, 5 HR professionals will be trained on conflict management at the workplace, and then 5 men will get trained on stress management. And he's very specific about being course for boy child. So if you're interested in these courses, kindly get in touch with me, and we will be able to link you up with Pathway Service Solutions. And then allow me to just recognize our partners. We have Balcon Housing, we have Stallion Construction Company, we have Ames College of Business and Technology, we have Wandi Restaurant, we have the Career Management Center, we have Pathway Solution Services, we have Wicklin, we have Kapula Mintito, we have Fina Gardens. Oh my God, you guys need to Google Fina Gardens. If you're looking for a place to go in Naivasha, please, Fina Gardens will be your place. And then we have College of Career Guidance and Development, College of Career Guidance and Development. If you're looking to enhance your ability to give career guidance, if you're in this place and you'd want to also prepare for your retirement, this is an excellent course for you to take, because it gives you skills that you can use beyond your job. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. If you're looking to become a carpenter, we will train you on such specific skills. Mr. James, I don't know, Catherine, you've dropped off.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
James,
yes.
please come back and give us your final, your parting shot. Oh, wait, before you give your parting shot, gosh, I forgot our people on FB. I really apologize. I don't know what's happening on Zoom. I have gotten reports that some people, it failed. I'll write to Zoom, because this is the 2nd week this is happening. And next week, I think we should be back on track. But I have seen quite a number of people who tuned in. And the question was one from Anne, who wanted to elaborate more on partnership conflict resolution. Okay, so they're just saying that they have learned a lot. Okay, that's fine. So thank you. Thank you. So yeah, back to you, James, your parting shot.
Thank you very much. What I'm saying is that conflict resolution is not a precept of any profession. Anybody can become a good conflict resolver. First of all, apart from knowing how to deal with your children, with your wife or husband or your brothers and sisters, it also helps you know how to work well with the people at your workplace and in the community. If you want to become a professional mediator, we have a 5-day program that runs from Monday to Friday, morning to evening, or those people want to do online, we do it for 4 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 4 to 7. We have an international certification. We certify through the International Mediation Institute, Netherlands, Singapore International Mediation Institute, and the International Academy of Mediators. We have a premier training organization, and we give international certification. It means you can train anywhere in the world. You can mediate anywhere in the world. And mediating is a lucrative business for those people, especially for HR managers. You need to get into the workplace. There are enormous opportunities for you. So get in contact with me. I've put my details on the screen, and I want to make you a better person every day. I enjoy making people better people, because even the Bible says, for those ones who read it, peacemakers will be called children of God. I hope I've tried my best to make you a child of God today. Have a nice evening, and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you for making us better people. I'm sure even the Catherine and our team have enjoyed this session as well. And all right, if you want to keep up with what's happening at Atara Solution, yeah, James, people are asking what is the name of your books and where can they find them?
My book is known as the General Principles of Mediation. It's available on in the textbook centers, almost all bookshops, but a new volume is coming in 2 weeks' time. They can also contact our office. We are at Jivan Bharat building, just above the Indian Embassy, 50th floor, and we occupy the left side of it. So there is a library, and there are other mediation-related organizations. I would like to ensure that once I train you as a professional mediator, I will also wait for 1 year and train you as a chartered mediator. It's a lucrative business for those people who don't know. When I was mediating the doctors' disputes in Kenya, you know, the dispute between the Doctors' Union, the Council of Governors, and the Ministry of Health. Lucrative business. There's also a case I did in Massapequa where I was paid $1,000 an hour. What are you guys waiting for? You can also be accredited by the courts and do court cases. 60% of them are non-lawyers. So you can do that together with what you are doing. So you want to disrupt your career. Get on track and start making money and enjoy your life. Thank you very much.
Okay, so start making money and enjoy your life. So I will come for that course. Can I get a free offer because I'm Grace?
Come on board.
We talk.
Thank you.
Okay, sawa, no problem. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us. I apologize. We've gone way past 9 o'clock, but I believe this was quite helpful for you. And thank you so much, James, especially for jumping on such short notice. I really, 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 really appreciate.
In fact, I arrived this morning from Canada. I still have jet lag. I had gone for a conference in Montreal. So I'm still dancing around with jet lag, but I hope people have understood what I said.
Yes. Yes, people have, for sure. And thank you so much for doing this. And of course, thank you, Catherine Sidandi, our sign language interpreter, for helping us be inclusive. And I hope the team has been enjoying your sessions as well, your presence here. For those of you, Yani, I don't know, HR professionals, I have told you to send me an email, and then all of you are on my WhatsApp. Surely, instructions, isn't your James Anawambi Apa? And please, I've already received 3, just 2 more, and then the conflict resolution course will be gone. And I will talk to James to give us an offer soon for at least 1 session, so that people can get that. Yes, Beverly, I've seen your email. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. This webinar series is brought to you by Atara Solutions in partnership with Balcon Housing and Stallion Construction Company, as well as Pathway Solutions, College of Career Guidance and Development, and Fina Gardens. We also have other partners like Ames College of Business and Technology if you're looking to take on your CHRP. We also have We Clean are carpet cleaners. If you need your carpet cleaned, they are your people. They do 24-hour delivery. And then we have the Career Management Center, which is a HR firm. And then we have Wandi Restaurant. It's a restaurant located along Kambiti, Nyeri Road, at Kambiti, at Ola Kambiti, Ola Petrol Station at Kambiti. And then we have, who did I leave out? Vanessa Training Institute, training people on carpentry, making you employable. So I've seen your comment. Thank you very much, Wafula. Wafula, why are you sending me an email? What do you guys want with emails? Okay. Yes, free. Okay, Sawa. James has shared his contact details. You can get in touch. Thank you very much, Wafula, for being here. And for, that's okay, James, it's all right. And for, who is it? Hassan, who I told about this meeting later. And thank you very much. So the recording of this will be available on our YouTube channel, and I know the team will be sharing that. If you want to keep up on what's happening at Tatara Solutions or get updated on the next meeting, please join our WhatsApp group. And I believe the team is about to share that as well, so that you can get quick information on what's happening on with our session. So we have quite a lot in store for you. Like I told you, season 3 is better, bigger, and you guys, you cannot get this information anywhere else. So keep praying for us and keep praying that the grace is sufficient to continue bringing these sessions to you. So we appreciate you, our audience. We can't do this without you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for those who tuned in on Facebook. We really appreciate you. I've seen Patricia, I've seen Anna, I've seen James, I've seen Millicent, quite a number. So thank you very much. And we really appreciate you. My name is always Grace Nzula. I am a trainer and consultant with Atara Solutions. Please follow us on Instagram, Atara Solutions, like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Where's my team? Where are you guys? I have not seen the link to WhatsApp. Ama mulipotea wapi? And whoever is training, yeah, Lucy Mina, the training is for men. Why are you registering for male training? Where is my people? We need the link to the YouTube. I mean, to WhatsApp. Okay, let me just look for it. I know Kevin had shared it earlier, but just indulge me for a minute. All right, I am so sorry that it took a bit of a minute. There is our YouTube, I mean our WhatsApp link. Please join so that you can be updated on what's happening. We normally share a bit of information on that channel, I mean on the WhatsApp group, and you of course get information on what's happening every Tuesday for you to join these sessions. And then we have, for those of you who are asking for the recording, we normally upload on our YouTube channel, which is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. I'm just trying to copy the link so that you can subscribe to this. And I hope you can buy James's books. I have seen somebody was sharing the link, so you feel free to join that. And all right. Well, today my computer has decided. Anywho. Okay. So Frank is saying that he will give Girl Child 5 courses, 5 people on stress management as well. That's fine. So the people who will be there, then we will give them. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for being here. I've shared our YouTube channel. If you want to catch up on the recording for all the webinars that we've hosted, please subscribe and go and find everything there. We have a lot. And I've shared our WhatsApp group. If you want to join and get updated real time on what's happening with the webinar series, please join us. All right. I wish to end today's there. Please, let's see you next Tuesday, same time, same place, as we discuss biashara or side hustles or something interesting. You know, we always have some interesting sessions. So you guys have yourselves a lovely night, and we are honored that you could sacrifice your time to be with us. So thank you very much, as always. Grace Nzula here from Atara Solutions, and I hope that you can keep in touch with us and stay updated. Thank you.